is fired up, and the chef has something good cooking.
Oh, you're cooking, Frankie!
It's the NASCAR Chef, John Dix, and more burning rubber.
Okay, time for a gas and go, and you heard the intro right. The NASCAR Chef is back in the house this week, but we got some news for you this week before we get ready to do some cooking in the kitchen. And it's producer Wayne along with the NASCAR Chef John Dix here. And John, speaking of things that have come across in the news as of late, I know you said you were having some issues finding some stuff with the NHRA. Matter of fact, I actually found something interesting today, here. Top Fuel up-and-comer Jasmine Salinas, who actually took over for her father for this season coming here in the 2025 season. It has been confirmed that she has officially been parked as she will not be competing in the next few Mission Foods Drag Racing Series events, including next week's American Rebel Light NHRA 4-Wide Nationals at ZMAX Dragway. And the main reason for that, sadly, no sponsorship. So that's a huge deal. And Jasmine Salinas she's been doing pretty good as far as Top Fuel is concerned. And so, but it even states here in the article that the decision to park her 12,000 horsepower dragster was a tough one, especially since she is currently ranked 5th in Top Fuel standings overall. While she has been actively seeking new sponsors, she is yet to find the funding necessary to continue competing at this time. And
the race you're referring to is next week at Charlotte, am I correct?
Yeah, coming up here the week after Easter, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I thought it was, okay.
Yep. So yeah, honestly, it really hurts to see her not be able to compete because, again, 5th in the standings. She's been doing pretty damn well, in my opinion, as far as things are concerned here. And I don't know, maybe she needs a little drive refine action to get her going here. I don't know. Joey.
We'll call Joey and he'll hook her up.
Yeah, right. Joey, we need to find this girl some sponsors. Help her out here, will you? In fact, actually, folks, speaking of Drive Refine, make sure you head over to driverefine.com and get signed up today. If you are a real racer, a sim racer, it doesn't matter. Joey Coulter and the team over at the folks at Drive Refine, they will help you work better in communication with your crew chief, with your crew, with your teammates, and who knows, maybe even a little work with the fans too might be in the cards there when it comes to working with Joey Coulter and the folks over at Drive Refine. Again, that website, driverefine.com, 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 DRIVEREFINE.com. It's not driver refine, it's driverefine.com.
Yep.
And again, folks, it is not just driver coaching, it's Drive Refine.
Right.
And
well, Wayne, the elephant in the room is NASCAR's going back to the Rock.
And I'll tell you what, I have been looking forward to that race for some time now. The track itself has been completely upgraded, completely modified. It's got the safer barriers on it. And we are going to see the Xfinity Series and the Truck Series go there this weekend for Easter weekend. Cup is off this weekend because I think somebody finally got in somebody's ear down in Daytona and was like, "What are you doing racing on Easter, you assholes?"
Yeah, somebody laid an Easter egg at the NASCAR headquarters.
And we know that Easter egg was definitely brown in color.
And I hope it wasn't a duck egg. But anyways. I'm hoping one day the Cup Series will go back there, but I'm just excited they're racing at Rockingham, man. I remember that racetrack, and it's a good racetrack. We're gonna have a lot of fun, so everybody check it out.
Yeah, it's definitely a fantastic race, all in all, as everything comes about with Rockingham here. And so, because what's funny is, folks, if you remember last year's schedule, the Cup Series last year was at Bristol on Easter weekend. And so definitely some changes that have come about in the NASCAR schedule to allow for Easter weekend off for the Cup guys. So I personally, I think it's good stuff. I think it's long overdue. They should not race on Easter, and whether you're religious or not, that's a whole nother story for a whole nother day, whole nother question for a whole nother time too. But the fact is, Easter is one of those sacred holidays, much like Christmas, much like the 4th of July, where realistically you don't really need to be racing on those specific days of the year.
Right, Mother's Day as well.
Mother's Day too. Now Father's Day is different because a lot of drivers, their fathers, they're going to be getting out there having fun in their toys. That's what they're doing. And but good stuff all the way around here. And actually, speaking of Xfinity and trucks and everything like that, quick little rundown of the point standings too for everybody to get ready for the race this weekend coming up at Rockingham here. Allgaier still has the points lead in the Xfinity Series. Sam Mayer second. Jesse Love, who has been doing phenomenal and just got tapped for 2 Cup races with Beard Motorsports for this season too, by the way. So be on the lookout for that. Jesse Love is sitting in third to points. Austin Hill fourth. Connor Zilich rounds out the top 5. And rookie Carson Kvapil. I've been waiting to see this one for a while, John. Up 2 spots from last week's race is 6th in the points. Brandon Jones 7th. Sheldon Creed is taking a little bit of a dip. He is down 4 spots to 8th in the standings. Ryan Sieg is 9th. And then returning driver Sammy Smith, who is in the Junior Motorsports Curved 8 this year, which is so cool to see that car back in action with that style of number, is rounding out the top 10 in the point standings for the Xfinity Series. And that race for Rockingham for them will be this Saturday, actually tomorrow, April the 19th at 4 p.m. on the CW. So do be looking out for that one. And then as far as the Truck Series race, folks, that'll be on later this afternoon at 5 p.m. over on Fox Sports 1. So do be going and watching the truck race if you get a free moment this afternoon from Rockingham Speedway.
The Rock.
Oh, I've been waiting to hear that for so long. It's so good. It's so good. I promise you, it's so good. And then when Cup does come back here in 2 weeks' time, guys, Sunday, April 27th, John, they're coming to your neck of the woods down in Talladega.
Yep, going to be at Talladega. Looking forward to it.
And so that'll be that's another race that's always fun to watch here too. And but real quick, speaking of other point standings that we can touch on real quick here, and might as well touch on the Truck Series too while we're at it here, since they are going to be racing this weekend here. Corey Heim, now mind you, he's not been doing all that hot these last couple of races. We haven't gotten to see Heim time like we would like to. He is actually still atop the point standing, so it's some good stuff all the way around here. Chandler Smith, second overall. Ty Majeski, who is another very familiar name in the Truck Series, down 1 spot to third in the point standings. Tyler Ankrum is fourth. Daniel Hemrick, former Xfinity Series champion, is fifth. Lane Riggs, who is another rookie that we have enjoyed seeing racing from the super modifieds and late models and everything like that. Why did I say super modifieds? Super late models. That's what I was thinking of. Jesus. And editor's note, by the way, my brain is not working half the time, so forgive me. And I made that mistake on Monday's show, actually, confusing the fact that Kyle Larson was racing for Chip Ganassi when I actually called it out and said he was racing for Richard Petty like a dumbass. But that's my own fault. So I told Andy I would fix that with an editor's note for this show this week. But Daniel Hemrick, former Xfinity Series champion, is fifth. Lane Riggs, sixth. Grant Enfinger is seventh. Stuart Friesen, which is another great name to hear about, is sitting in eighth right now. And a name that I'm surprised to see this far down in the list, John, Ben Rhodes.
Wow.
Ninth in the point standings right now.
Yeah, he'll come back.
Oh, yeah. He'll come back because he's only 96 back right now. So a lot of time for Ben Rhodes to get going again. And then somebody else that you don't see hardly ever at all in the top 10 of the points, Jake Garcia rounds out the top 10.
Good for Jake.
And so that'll round out the top 10 for Xfinity and Truck as we head into Rockingham Speedway for this weekend here, folks. And again, make sure you tune in. Trucks will be on FS1, Fox Sports 1, this afternoon at 5 o'clock. And then for the Xfinity Series, again, tomorrow, 4 p.m. over on the CW. And something that has come of interest here to me, John, I saw this morning when I was doing a little bit of show prep here. So IndyCar has made a little bit of finally made a clarification. You know, God knows they make more clarifications than NASCAR does anymore. But they have their reserve driver policy for the Indy 500. They finally did a little clarification on that, where IndyCar officials have noted that the sanctioning body's reserve driver policy for the 109th Indianapolis 500 has a change that could impact 2021 NASCAR Cup Series champion Kyle Larson if the race is delayed or stopped for rain. Hendrick Motorsports and Arrow McLaren agreed that in 2025, the Coke 600 would take priority over the Indy 500 for Larson to avoid last year's situation where a 4-hour rain delay to the start of the Indy 500 kept Larson from competing in the 600, which honestly really hurt my soul because I wanted to see Larson do the double last year. But this weekend this year it's not even going to be a thing because the Indy 500 technically is on All-Star weekend this year, whereas the Coke 600 is the week after. So that changes up things anyway. So realistically, the Indy 500 could still be a priority for Kyle Larson.
Mm-hmm. Wow, Wayne, I wasn't aware of that, so that's good information.
Yeah, it's something that did a little looky-loo and found that out. But Larson, IndyCar has informed race teams of that procedural update involving eligible drivers ahead of the 109th Indianapolis 500. And during a recent team meeting, teams were made aware that a replacement driver would be eligible for under the following parameters here. And this is exactly word for word how it came down from IndyCar. A replacement driver will only be considered if the primary or quote-unquote entered driver also is participating in another marquee event with the driver's principal racing series on Indianapolis 500 race day.
Okay.
So that being the case, the IndyCar approved veteran replacement driver is eligible for and passes the Indianapolis Motor Speedway refresher program in the entry during the first day of Indianapolis 500 practice. Additional tires for the refresher program will not be allowed for the Indy 500 entry, and the tire allotment for each entrant is 32 sets for the event. Any tires used for the refresher program will be taken from the allotted tires to that entry. So, and I didn't realize they went through that many sets of damn tires for the Indy 500.
You're right.
Like
too many rules, Wayne.
I was gonna say I knew they had a lot of pit stops, but right. 32 sets for each team.
Good gracious.
That's 120 tires plus.
Yeah.
Like Jesus.
That's crazy.
Like that is crazy to me. That it is that way. But either which way, we'll have to see what happens when it comes time for Indianapolis 500 practice, which, you know, obviously the month of May is right around the corner. So we're gonna have to see how well what practice will do for Kyle Larson, if he's going to have an approved backup driver or if they're still going to let everything take hold and, you know, run the Indy 500 the week of All-Star week and skip out on the All-Star race and then go run the Coke 600, or how that's going to shake out. But we'll keep everybody updated as that happens here. But
right,
talking all that news, I'm hungry, John. I'm very hungry.
I'll tell you, Wayne, this week we got a real good recipe, guys. We have a cheesecake deviled strawberries.
Oh.
Well, I tell you what, just don't hold back on your diet, because this ain't a good one, folks, but it's very tasty. We're going to start with 3 pounds of strawberries, 1 8-ounce block of cream cheese, 1 cup of powdered sugar, a 1/4 teaspoon of vanilla extract, and a half a cup of heavy whipping cream. That's all the ingredients you need.
Oh.
Now, guys, you want to slice the strawberries in half lengthwise. And at the bottom of them, where the little hump is, you want to slice a little piece off so they'll lay flat on your platter. Okay? Now, in a bowl, you want to mix the cream cheese, the powdered sugar, and the vanilla extract real good. All right? And then you want to slowly spoon in your whipping cream, kind of fold it in, all right, till it gets all really good. Then you're going to transfer your mixture to a piping bag. Now, guys, for a lot of people don't have piping bags, and I tell you what, as much cooking as I do, I still use a Ziploc bag. I just put it in a Ziploc bag, cut the tip off, and folks, that is your redneck piping bag. Now, what we're going to do, guys, with that redneck piping bag, we're going to fill each strawberry with the whipping cream and the mixture that we made, sprinkle some your graham cracker crumbs on the top, and you're ready to serve, and it's that simple.
Nice.
If you want to, a lot of people will put them in a refrigerator for an hour or two and let them chill, but sometimes you can't wait.
Oh, trust me. When it comes to something like that makes deviled eggs look like child's play. Like I'm already hungry just thinking about doing some of that this weekend for Easter. And folks, by the way, here is a bit of a larger view of that recipe: the cheesecake deviled strawberries. Brought to you by the NASCAR Chef himself, John Dix.
Well, since Andy's not here today, Wayne, we'll make some here in the studio and try to keep the duck out. They'll be good.
Oh, Quacker's been locked out. Like I put him in a cage outside. That way he couldn't.
Okay.
I knew you were coming up with something good this week, John, so I had to make sure he was securely caged up. By the way, PETA, don't come for me. He's safe and well fed, so everything's good. But cheesecake deviled strawberries from the NASCAR Chef John Dix here, folks. Take a good look at the recipe that's on your screen right now. And with that being the case here, John, we are ready to wrap up another Gas and Go this week here on Burning Rubber Radio. And Andy DeLay will be back on Monday with the wrap-up from Rockingham Speedway for the trucks in Xfinity. We'll have all the news to talk about from this weekend, including any IndyCar news, NHRA, Formula One, whatever the case might be, folks. So make sure you tune in on Monday on our Facebook page, facebook.com/Burning Rubber Radio, x.com/BR Radio _. And then also Instagram is the same, BR Radio _, along with all of our other social channels, YouTube, Rumble, wherever you might find us at. We love seeing you guys. Have a great Easter weekend, and until Monday, burning rubber, baby.
Burning rubber, baby.
Yeehaw.